If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You are about to listen to the Dr. Daliah Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Daliah Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Daliah.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Daliah, 1-877 DOCDALI. So one of my listeners this weekend asked about the what is it looking like in terms of the hospitals and babies being born in America, and what would it look like with Trump trying to abolish the quote-unquote automatic birthright citizenship for children born in the U.S. to illegal immigrants. And so I delivered a lot of babies in my time training, but, as hospitals, on the border, ensure that they treat everybody who needs immediate medical care. If somebody does come in pregnant and in labor, their citizenship status isn't, verified. They're going to deliver that baby, and they're going to do what they can. I know there's been a lot of movies and jokes about somebody trying to get to the border and then having their pelvis on one side of the border and all that. I mean, even though there are sadly many home births that don't get proper medical care, I can't, vouch all the different, shall we say, protocols that happen at the hospitals. But for the most part, somebody's coming in labor, they're going to be taken care of. That baby's going to get medical care. That mom is going to get medical care. And then it's not up to the doctors. It's up to the laws, the 14th Amendment of citizenship status, etc. You get a birth certificate of the hospital you were born in, the city, the state. And so as it stands right now, because of the 14th Amendment, if you are born in the United States, you are a United States citizen. Now, most of us agree with the 14th Amendment until we hear that some people have abused it, where there's companies that you could pay, where you can travel on either a visa or vacation or something, be in a certain facility, such that when you do finally give birth, that baby is born then on American soil. And when you start to see that people are profiting from this, and then there's, trafficking and what's going on at the border, now we're dealing with the topic of, well, does birthright need to be changed? And so I understand that Trump may issue an executive order that addresses birthright citizenship. We're being told by WBEZ that the federal government is not going to recognize automatic birthright citizenship for children born in the U.S. to parents without legal status. He's going to enhance vetting and immigrants without legal status. And so this wouldn't be an issue if people were in the country legally. You could be a non-citizen in this country because there's an immigration path. It took some weeks to months, I think, for my father to learn the language, study for the test, pass the test to become a citizen. So there is a process. And so this birthright, automatic birthright citizenship, would it be an issue if our border was secure? And so because our border is not secure, now, we're looking at all the, auxiliary actions that are happening that are, we don't want people to take advantage of a system. We also don't want pregnant women who are in very vulnerable parts of their pregnancy to try to make a trek to America, especially if you need bed rest or IV fluids, just to try to have the baby. I mean, if we have an immigration process where you want to apply, you and your child, right now it's a free for all. And so will Trump be able to, because it's an amendment, Trump's executive order might not go that far. But if he does secure the border, then that may become moot. Where if you are in the process of immigrating, going through the process, the steps, the vetting, and you end up having a baby, that baby will then have protection. But if you come in illegally, that might not offer you protection. So, right now the 14th Amendment says, if anybody born or naturalized in the United States has equal rights. But it doesn't go into detail as to, the legality of, did somebody break the law to do that? So it'll be interesting. There are going to be multiple executive orders. He is going to declare a national emergency at the border, something that Biden should have done that never did. Alejandro Mayorkas said, no, the border is secure. That was, nobody believed that and bought that, and that's why the Democrats lost the election. So the Defense Department and the Department of Homeland Security, according to WBEZ Chicago, is going to finish the wall at the U.S.-Mexico border. U.S. Armed Forces and National Guard personnel will be deployed at the border. This is going to give Customs and border agents a reprieve. They have been working exhaustively and their lives have been put at risk. Not to mention other migrants have been put at risk this is going to save lives. They're going to give the military more power to protect the territorial integrity of the United States, seal the borders, maintain sovereignty, territorial integrity, and security of the U.S. They're going to end catch and release, which is where a migrant that comes in illegally gets caught, but then released to America saying, look, here's a hearing 2 years from now. And the administration will develop a federal and state partnership to enforce immigration policies and priorities. They're going to designate criminal cartels and others as global terrorists. It's about time. They're going to suspend refugee resettlement for at least 4 months. Now, very interestingly, Trump is going to be working with Mayor Eric Adams very closely, being that a lot of the migrants got sent to New York, and New York City has been overwhelmed. So, they're going to try and stop the faucet. They're going to order the federal government to not recognize automatic birthright citizenship for children born to the U.S. to parents that without legal status. They're going to, if there are capital crimes or killings committed by illegal immigrants, the U.S. Attorney General will seek the death penalty. So these are some of the things that are going to be executively ordered. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH. Don't go away.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-710-5100. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell our listeners who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me join you to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now and find out how much your case is potentially worth. Call 800-710-5100.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. If you think you deserve compensation, call now to find out how much you qualify for. 800-710-5100.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hot Shot Secret Stiction Eliminator.
Stiction, that sticky friction, undermines the performance of diesel engines. Third-party ASTM testing verifies that Stiction Eliminator removes 2 times as much stiction than any alternative on the retail shelf. Stiction Eliminator is formulated to be left in the engine oil. It works as you drive.
Available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to totalwellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. totalwellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Daliah, 1-877 DOCDALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer, and big thanks to you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Dr. Daliah, Facebook, The Dr. Daliah Show, and on YouTube. Click like and subscribe. Okay, so some of you were fortunate enough, although I don't know if fortunate's the right word, but you were able to get Ozempic, or a GLP-1 agonist drug, to lose weight. And many of you have reached out saying, I'm stuck. I got on the drug. I'm spending money on the drug, and you're not losing weight. You lost maybe 10 pounds. Maybe you lost 20 pounds, and now you're in what I call Ozempic limbo. If you are in Ozempic limbo, this is a very, very scary time, especially if you've invested tens of thousands of dollars for your monthly shots. If your insurance covered it and you only paid $25, okay, not as scary. But for those of you that have really invested a lot of money into it, into your weight loss, and now you don't know what to do, you're scared. And so this Ozempic limbo that some of you are on is causing you to be concerned. Do you keep going? Do you stop the drug? For those of you who missed a dose or who did stop it temporarily, you saw how quickly your hunger came back. Your hunger came back pretty fast. And so you are in limbo, or you're at a plateau. So I've told you guys before, when you lose weight, the plateaus are actually very beneficial. These plateaus allow your body to reset itself. So let's say you get a stomach flu, you lose 5-10 pounds, not eating and vomiting and diarrhea. And then at the end of the week, you're like, wait a second, look at me. I'm 5-10 pounds lighter. If I could just keep this, the second you finish that sentence, you gain the weight right back. So rather than it taking a long time or even 5 days to gain that weight back, you almost take it in like a sponge. Because for your body to reset itself and recalculate for that new weight loss, it's easier for your body to just rebound. But if you lose weight slowly and plateau, and your body starts to get used to that new weight, now that's going to be your new set point, as long as you're not overeating and doing things wrong. And so if you have been taking Ozempic or Wegovy or Mounjaro or Zepbound for weight loss, and you lost 10, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, and now you're not losing anymore, that's actually a good sign. Because that means your body is trying to reset. The problem is nobody wants to spend $1,000 or $1,500 a month for same weight. The reason why most people fail on their diets is they plateau. This could be, whether it's Weight Watchers or exercising or working out, and you're like, I'm not losing any more weight. I must be doing something wrong. So you quit, and then you gain the weight back. And nobody tells you, you just ride through that plateau. The problem is the average person cannot afford these drugs. And for those of you in Ozempic limbo, you want to know how to get off of the drug and not gain the weight. So, the element of surprise always takes us. But if you're not surprised and you're educated and you're aware, it might not hit you that hard. So if you know that a common side effect of stopping the drug is you're going to get very hungry, plan for that. Have junk food out of the house. Have an exercise regimen. Have plenty of water around. And then start working on your cravings. Make sure you have something. Another thing that you might want to do is not stop the drug abruptly. If you're on 2 milligrams of Ozempic, then maybe go down the next few weeks to 1 milligram, then maybe go down to 0.5, then 0.25 before you go off of it. But if you lost your weight at the 2 milligrams and you stop it, you're going to probably rebound. So you might want to slowly taper it down. You also should be increasing your muscle mass. Your metabolism is not going to increase if you lose your muscle. So if you haven't been exercising this whole time, you better start exercising. And you better start increasing your muscle mass. And you better also get into shape, because the weight will come. And you're going to realize that this Ozempic Mounjaro weight loss might be temporary for you. Not for everybody, but for you. So you might need plan B and come up with another way to lose the weight. And, don't feel bad. A lot of people feel they got suckered into this, that nobody warned them. I warned you, but not everybody listens. And mind you, listen, I would love, to lose a rapid amount of weight. I have a bikini from my honeymoon that I would love to get back into. I don't think my husband's going to want to see me in it, but I'd like to be in it. And so I get it. It's very addictive to want to succeed and start looking better. You know how difficult it is to lose weight and to be able to improve your health? I'm not faulting you for trying to improve your health and weight. I fault you for not revamping your whole lifestyle and including exercise and eating healthy. If you're eating out and drinking alcohol and using these drugs to try to curb some of your cravings, no, your weight loss is not going to be permanent. But if you've been working out at the gym and you've been cutting back your eating and you've been doing, what you do, then that's what these drugs work well for. Just like with diabetes, these medications were designed for people with diabetes so that those struggling to get their sugars down have another option. But can you be on it lifelong? There's a study looking at some of the risk factors like pancreatitis. And researchers from the Washington University School of Medicine looked at the health outcomes among more than 2 million people with diabetes taking these drugs. And they found that if you're on these medications, it doubled the chance of developing pancreatitis. Now, pancreatitis is inflammation of the pancreas. Inflammation of the pancreas could put you at risk for pancreatic cancer. We don't want to mess with the pancreas. In fact, there's a saying we always say in medical school that I can't say, but it rhymes with Donald Duck. You don't Donald Duck with the pancreas. And these medications can. I don't think these medications were ever designed for long term. So for those of you that were lucky enough with your new insurance to get on the medication, has anybody studied how long you could really safely be on it? We're seeing pancreatic cancer risk rise. Is it because of all the diet sodas? Is it because of the increase in obesity? Is it because of the increase in alcohol? Is it because of the increase of these drugs? Why is pancreatic cancer rising? We need to know. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get pancreatic cancer from these drugs, but if it is found to double your risk of pancreatitis is a risk factor for pancreatic cancer. Another problem we're seeing is people aren't pooping. They're telling me they can't poop. They have to self-extract or go through tons of stool softeners. Well, that's not sustainable. I don't care how much weight you're losing. You have to be able to potty. And if you can't if you can't pass your stools and you're constipated, that could put you at risk for colon cancer. So this Ozempic limbo is something that I think has to be talked about just as much as these celebrities talking about their weight loss. And being able to maintain weight loss is important. I know the Wegovy commercials, they go, I'm maintaining my weight loss. Good for them. But it's an expensive way to do it. And if you are putting yourself at risk for GI side effects, nausea, vomiting, pancreatitis, we want you to be able to maintain your weight without drugs. And I think we're starting to develop this idea that you have to be on this for life. And now you're scared. You're scared that you can't go off of it. And you keep paying and you keep paying, you keep injecting. And at some point, something gives, you go off of it, and you gain the weight back. So my recommendation for all of you in limbo is, one, look at the dosing you're on and very slowly titrate down. Keep exercising, eat healthy, try to maintain that caloric intake, and try to temper the rebound. And you need to figure out what is the lowest dose that keeps you happy and does what needs to be done medically for you, that doesn't put you at risk for rebound when you stop the medication. And seeing patients come back saying, look, I just gained 30 pounds back, all those benefits of weight loss on the heart and the kidneys, we're hearing all these studies where if you take these medications, this rapid weight loss is doing wonders for your heart. Okay, where are the studies showing the rebound weight gain and what that's doing to your heart? Okay, the one thing I can assure you is a good number of people using the drugs are going off of them. We need to be there for the medical issues that happen with that. 1-877 Doc Daliah, don't go away.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
All right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Daliah, 1-877 DOCDALI. Well, while the majority of the country seems to be pretty hopeful and excited about our next president, you do have a lot of individuals out there not very excited. One of you wrote me thinking that, talking about how renaming the Gulf of Mexico is ridiculous and Donald Trump is going to be doing all sorts of crazy things. And, here's the thing. When I first heard about the Gulf of America from the Gulf of Mexico, I remember I did do a double take going, was that a joke or was that? And then I kind of thought to myself a few things. Okay, number one is this is going to be Trump's second term. And anything he lost, whether some of us feel it was legit or not, he lost the White House and a lot of the things he wanted to do because of the 2020 election, and because during his first election office, he didn't really have people that he worked with. He had to kind of rely on the current deep state or whatever, the current establishment, and then he didn't have control of the House and Senate, I think, for part of his terms. And so now he's got, like I said, these next 2 years is he's got a fairly easy path to get things he wants to get done. Trump, of his personality type, wants to go down as the best president ever. And he has lived through people always citing Ronald Reagan, JFK, FDR. He wants to he wants to be the Ronald Reagan of this time. And he also wants to make moves that are going to be very difficult to reverse. I think something that really bothered Trump from a psychological standpoint is progress he made got immediately reversed by Biden. So the wall, which was being built, got stopped, even taken down in some areas. The economic growth, he doesn't want the insulin. He was the one, I remember speaking about it on air, how he lowered the price of insulin to $35. That got reversed by Biden. And then Biden brought it back and got credit. So he understands that if he wants to be remembered in the history books, he's going to have to do some things that are historical. And, building the wall, the wall could be taken down. So what is going to be something that might have a little bit more permanence? Well, the geography. And if there's something that I guess hasn't been questioned that could better America's position, he's going to do it. And so I think he is serious about changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I think he is serious about trying to bring on Greenland. I don't think he's going to bring on Canada. I don't think he wants to make Canadians mad. He wants to work with Canada. But I also think that he is a very gifted distractor. He knows how to distract the media. And so when he wants to get something done, but he wants the media not bugging him, he knows how to deal with the media and give them something to jump on and criticize him. He understands that the liberal media needs to be anti-Trump. That's what makes them thrive. And they are going to continue to find something. I used to do this with bullies. When I didn't want bullies to bug me about something, I would fall or drop something to give that bully something else to chew on. So then I could just do my thing. And that's what I think Trump might be doing with some of this, like with the Gulf of America. If you notice, before he brought up a lot of those, everybody was going after Pete Hegseth and all his nominees. And if you notice, things got quiet all of a sudden. Nobody talked about Tulsi Gabbard. Nobody talked about Pete Hegseth. And it got quiet because they had something else to talk about. And now it looks like the majority of his, if not all of them, his nominations are going to go through. They might have anyway, but he didn't want the conversation. If he wants to steer the conversation, he knows exactly how to steer it. And that's what I think he's doing. Now, as of today, though, he's going to sign 200 executive orders and immigration policies, gender identity issues, all sorts of stuff. He is going to be preparing for the media firestorm, but he doesn't care. Now he's in office. He's going to make good on his promises, and he's going to get stuff done. But, is the Gulf of America a top priority? I don't know. I can see him move forward with that. But you know what? I remember learning, in geography that depending on whose country, the body of water or the river or whatever would have a different name than what we would call it. It might just be America's going to call it the Gulf of America and Mexico's going to call it the Gulf of Mexico. Whose Gulf is it? Doesn't matter. I think to Trump it does, because if he does change that, he goes down in history. Now, the Panama Canal, that's huge. If we built it and we're getting screwed, and a lot of our inflation is being affected by supply and our vulnerability to China is worsened because they have access and they could crimp our supply at any time because of because of their Panama Canal control. That's huge. I know people are saying, "Oh man, well he's going to be the dictator and he's going to expand and he's going to." If America's in trouble, he might be the president to fix that. I'm telling you right now, we are in trouble. The last 4 years did not help us. The fact that China can fly stuff into our airspace unfettered means there's someone to be more dominant out there. Now, they try that with Trump, it's going to be, oh, hell no. But China had a lot of access to America. And my guess is not that one balloon. And then I don't know where these other drones or spaceships or whatever else is coming from. But if America, to me, is the best country on the planet, and we aren't strong enough, and we have vulnerabilities, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, and it's something that's voluntary. So, like, for example, if the people of Greenland want it, then I'm for it. If the people of Greenland don't want it, then, but, he is, the art of the deal. People ask, is he going to give everybody $1 million in Greenland to get it? Well, now that Greenlanders know that he really wants Greenland, they might up their price, but can they be bought? I mean, are they happy if there's promises and So, I've only flown over Greenland. I've never visited. From what I understand, there are some amazing natural resources. Whoever does control Greenland, who knew? Look at now Greenland's all of a sudden. I agree. Greenland had a nice, happy, quiet, beautiful scenery, and then all of a sudden they're in the news every day. But it's going to be a very, very interesting next term. 1-877 Doc Daliah. Don't go away.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-910-7500. That's 800-910-7500. Call now to find out how much your case could be worth.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
Diesel fuel cetane levels.
the cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Self-reliance. It's not a phrase we hear much in our culture these days. It might conjure up images of pioneers, the West, rifles, strapping men, and strong women. But what does it mean for us in today's world? The New American Magazine has just released its latest collector's edition, Self-Reliance, Foundation of Freedom. In it, the New American authors outline the necessity of self-reliance for a free people, tips for self-reliant living, and the importance of not giving up hope. This unique edition includes articles on the self-sufficiency of the founders, preparing for a worst-case scenario, firearms, financial self-reliance, the importance of community, and many other topics by expert writers. Now, for a limited time, the New American is offering a bundle of 3 collector's editions, Self-Reliance, The Great Reset, and Trump World, for just $19.95. Available at shopjbs.org. Visit shopjbs.org today.
All right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOCDALI. So there was a lot of buzz online saying Fauci, Dr. Anthony Fauci, is not going to be going to jail because he got pardoned. And, I would not have called for Fauci going to jail. I think, he should have left his post once he admitted that he didn't agree with the commander in chief. And he felt like he couldn't say what he needed to, in the Trump administration or whatever. If you are a doctor and you believe there is something that needs to be done, you don't keep a $400,000 a year job, but he wanted to be a part of the Trump administration, the Biden administration. He got a lot of money, covered up issues that had to do with COVID, which could have affected our national security, as well as other labs operating improperly. And, I'm not a fan. There was, he did some bad things. But Biden decided in his last seconds of office to pardon multiple members of his family, as well as individuals, including Anthony Fauci. So we're being told that about 15 minutes before Donald Trump was sworn in, that Biden issued preemptive pardons, or whoever has been operating for Biden, because he really looked half asleep the whole day. He did preemptive pardons to James Biden, Sarah Jones Biden, Valerie Biden Owens, John T. Owens, and Francis Biden. Now, I not sure what they did wrong. The fact that he had to pardon these individuals, what did they do that he is fearful of? I don't know if Hunter was a part of that. He said the issuance of these pardons, he already pardoned Hunter for past, but if Hunter does something in the future, then that's open game. But he says that the issuance of these pardons should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that they engage in any wrongdoing, nor should acceptance be misconstrued as an admission of guilt for any offense. So, just the fact that he felt he had to do that already, to me, raises a lot of eyebrows. Now, it could have just been, that he wants to make sure they don't go through any drama, but being everything that we know from that laptop and Hunter Biden and all that, it's very highly suspect to me. But it was in his jurisdiction and his right. So, he also pardoned James' wife Sarah, her sister Valerie, husband John. These were pretty, I guess the pardons cover all of their, quote, nonviolent actions dating back to 2014. Now, in addition to that, he also did preemptive pardons for General Mike Miley, Dr. Anthony Fauci, former Representative Liz Cheney, and other lawmakers. And so, this is something that, I know Trump spoke out about it. He was disappointed. A lot of people were, in fact, I think, many, here's the thing. Biden only had seconds left of his power. We knew he was going to do something. But my issue with the Dr. Fauci and COVID thing is there's not a lot of accountability these days. And COVID killed. And I'm not blaming all that on Fauci. But if he was funding research, if he knew about that, when Trump and other individuals tried to say, look, this is coming from China. In fact, Trump's intelligence team said it was leaked in August 2019 from the Wuhan Institute lab, which I actually agree with that timeline because I was seeing patients in America who were testing negative for flu, calling in saying, look, I'm sick and I don't know what I have, but I don't have flu. And I'm like, well, there's got to be a new sort of respiratory, there's got to be something going on. And then when we learned, okay, well, it's COVID-19 and of unknown origin and whatever, which, by the way, that was already suspect when they put of unknown origin and they try to label it, cement that into the vernacular, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm sure there is a known origin. And whenever you do fund research, I've received research grants. They are basically all up in your underwear. No, you're wanting to know where the money's going. What are you doing? What's the progress? And they didn't know, we were working on SARS and there were some changes. And then when it did all happen, if you are funding, you have then access easy key access to that lab. Did we use that access? And then to cover it up? You see, one thing I'm hoping with the Trump presidency is if you're not doing your job and appropriately and ethically, you get fired. You're not going to get paid to not work. You don't want to work, not a problem. You want to take days off and you've used up all your PTO, not a problem. If you're not taking taxpayer money, it's fine. But if you're taking taxpayer money, you do your job. And you do your job well. How many millions of people work for the government? And all we keep being told is, well, they need more people. They need more people. What are the people currently doing? Now, I understand the border overwhelmed. I understand many cities have defunded their police. Look at what happened with California and firefighters. I mean, they shifted funding. But if there's supposed to be funding for that, you make sure we have people. And you make sure they're doing their job. And Trump is very well known for firing people. And I've worked in the government before. I know people don't work. I know people screw around with the budget. That's why I'm so excited about Doge. Because I remember hearing, okay, there's, it's budget time. It's budget time. If we don't spend it, we lose it. So buy whatever we need, because if we don't spend it, we don't get the money next year. That's probably the most ridiculous setup that if I was running things, I would say, look, guys, if I'm running the government, I'd say, hey, whatever you didn't spend, you get bonused. So if you're doing your job and there's money left over, you get a bonus for saving money. Incentivize people. But people don't want to lose their budget. They don't want their budget shrunk. So they'll just spend on stupid. Buy furniture, buy extra stuff. And you know how expensive it is when you sell to the government, the prices they're paying? And hopefully Doge will stop that. Very simple. Honestly, if Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy is listening, just incentivize every government department that they will get a bonus if they save money on the budget and spend less than the budget. And I think it's going to work. So, Biden left today. I think he's gone. Now we have the parade and everything else going on for Trump. There's a lot of expectations. Trump has a lot to fix. He's not going to be very popular for all of the things. He's going to, in terms of the media, in terms of government workers, because they're going to have to do their job. And if they aren't doing their job, they're going to get fired. But he's going to be popular with the American people. And I think there's a lot of things that need to be done. And, one of you asked, what's he going to do to protect election integrity? The elections are up to the states. But one thing I would recommend, as I've said before, is with mail-in ballots, have you request one. It be traced to you. You get it in your hands only if you requested it in mail, not mail all of these mail-in ballots and waste all these trees. I thought we were trying to protect the environment. Right? There's all these mail-in ballots getting mailed without people wanting them. And then if you do vote, they make you promise and cross your heart and hope to die that you destroy the mail-in ballot. What if we didn't get a mail-in ballot? So I think if they could trace and have accountability for anybody requesting a mail-in ballot, such that if anybody votes with that mail-in ballot, it's on you. So if you do have that mail-in ballot, you use it appropriately and you don't vote on somebody else's mail-in ballot, I think that might help. 1-877 Doc Daliah. Don't go away.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.